comment here? If not, we'll look for the approval of our June 21st minutes as distributed.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Any additions or deletions or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. So ordered. We go to our departments, beginning with the warden.
Good morning. Nothing to add unless any questions.
Nothing to add unless there's any questions.
Question?
I do have a question of the warden. I don't know if Jamie, something occurred to me. Coming in, I noticed the entryway really needs some flooring work. To me, it's a safety issue. There's so many rubber mats laying there. I would think it presents a tripping hazard. And I wondered if, Jamie, we get those CCAP grants for safety. Is that something that might qualify for one of those grants?
It is on the agenda to be brought up. Sergeant Gibson has been pricing and working with maintenance to get us some numbers. We were trying to figure out if we had old tile to replace it, or if we don't have enough to replace it, what the cost is. Deputy Warden Richmond sits on the safety committee. They have a meeting at the end of the month. It is on the agenda to be brought up.
Well, I guess I had ESP. What can
Well,
I say?
thank you for bringing it to our attention.
No, that's all right. I just
Yes.
saw all the mats, and I'm thinking, we can do better than this in the entry.
Yes, we'd like to look at the entire lobby. Obviously, that's fiscal, and we'll be coming to your attention for the 2024 year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nothing to add unless there's questions.
Anything from the floor? Any open discussion? We are going to have anything from you, Tom? I'm sorry.
Well, since we just had our monthly CQI meeting before this meeting, as we do each month, and I thought I'd just share some of the information that was relayed during that meeting. Of note, for the last quarter, there were 229 COVID tests administered. All of them have been negative, so that's obviously a good sign of how the facility is operating. One other thing that is getting a lot of attention lately is the mental health crisis in the Commonwealth. Just identified 51% of our patient population is on some form of psychotropic medication. So a little over half are being seen and treated for mental health issues. Finally, give an update. As the board is aware, we started an MAT program in January. I'd like to just give you some numbers on how that is going. In January, our first month, we only had one participant. In February, we had 8. March, April, and May all had 9. June had 12, and so far in July, we have 18. So that program is growing, and we've not seen significant problems from a diversion standpoint or other issues, so it's going fairly smoothly. The administration is divided almost equally between methadone and buprenorphine. That's all I have, and unless there's any questions.
Yes, Pat. Would you stand and identify yourself and where you're from?
So I'm Bethany Knob and I'm from Lebanon. When people come in and they're on methadone or Suboxone, whatever, how do you verify that? And then, so there's continuity of treatment?
Sure. As with any medication, with MAT medications, if they identify that they're in a program, we ask to identify with these type of medications who their provider is. Typically, it's where their pharmacy is, so we just call the pharmacy. But with these medications, we'll ask who the provider is. We'll make contact with them to verify that they're on the program.
And is it pretty quick?
We want that to be done. Our intake process is to be completed within 4 hours of their entrance into the facility. And then as soon as that is done, a task is created for someone to contact either that pharmacy or that provider.
Okay. Before we adjourn, I just wanted to announce that we will be going into an executive session for building security, which has been asked by the sheriff. So we will be doing that after we adjourn. So if there's no other business for our
Sorry, can I just ask one more question?
Sure.
Well, actually, actually, it's of the prison board. I've had opportunity to visit other prison boards in the last year in other counties. I've gone to visit them. And we don't, of course, have to do anything here like anywhere else, but in other prison board meetings, there's actually a oral report from the departments, from each one of the departments. And I understand that they do the written report and that we all, including us, have access to that written report. But it is nice when they just, a summation of those reports is done. This is the only prison board meeting where that I've been to that's not. And where they just, instead of saying nothing to add, so it's just something to consider
Okay.
for the future. So
I
that
mean, a
everybody-
lot of the reports are daily activities that, that we kind of, I don't know, well, we could
Yeah,
give
just
it,
think about
it's a
it.
lot of detail to wrap up into a statement, but maybe a highlight, if that would be, that's a, you guys can discuss that between now and then. Okay. All right, thank you. If nothing else from the floor, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we stand adjourned, thank you.